All right, it's chip of the day. Today we have an RS-485 transceiver. RS-485, so you might be familiar with RS-232. It's a serial interface, right? And it swings around plus or minus 12 volts kind of thing. The reason it has such a big voltage swing and stuff is to make sure that the signal gets through to the other side, because you're going to lose things along the way, and you're going to pick up noise along the way. And that worked to a certain point, and then it stopped working. And so they wanted something better. So they came up with RS-485. And today's chip is going to be a SN65HVD12. It's this one there. All right, there's a family of parts. So the trick for RS-485 is twisted pairs, okay? So you take the signal you have and you create a differential pair. You have signals that are 180 degrees out of phase. So when one side goes up, the other side goes down. And you're always looking at the difference between the two. And you send that along, and then at the other side, you undo it. You send it back to a single zeros and ones. And because it's a twisted pair, if there's any noise anywhere, it's common to both sides. So it has good common mode rejection. So that's this twisted pair. And that kind of led to CAN and other types of buses and stuff all work on these differential pairs. Differential pairs is really important in automatic control and stuff. So these chips, so this is one of the chips. You can use them in multiple ways. Each one has a driver and a receiver, okay? So here you could use this input to drive, and then it would drive all of these guys, okay? And then these guys could be receivers, or these guys could drive. So you could take turns. You have to like coordinate between everybody, but some people can take over the bus and some people not. So there is an enable pin. So this DE is the enable pin. So you can enable your drive capability or enable your receive capability. And each one, like I said, has to take turns. All right. So it is a 3.3 volt part though. So it is low voltage, but it is really good for immunity. Let's see here. It says it has the footprint of an SM65HVD12, which is one of the original bus drivers. So there's 7400 series, the 7400, 7412, or 14s, 74, 74s, the TTL version stuff, right? There was a 75 version that was a lot of driver chips, so 75176. All right. Let's see, here it is. We have the receive data and the transmit data, that's over here, and then we have the power and ground and then the differential pair A and B. All right, and let's see here. It is high current because you need to have good immunity and be able to drive really, really long distances and stuff. So the driver can output 60 milliamps. See, low level output current, yeah, 60 milliamps. Receiver 8. Differential load resistance, okay. So anyway, I think it's kind of self-explanatory. You're sending differential pairs, right? So, see, you have here, you have when B goes up, A goes down, right? It's always a differential pair. And yeah, I say we just hook one up, take a look. Okay, here is the part, and I'm going to be putting data through it, so I need a data generator. So here's my data generator. I have a little ATtiny that's programmed with random numbers. That's why I have RND on here. That's my random number generator. And I could never remember the pinout, so I have red and black here. So that's your VCC, that's your ground. And then pin 2 is blackened on the edge there. You can barely see it. That's your output, just to remind myself. So we'll take a look at the output And that's this little part here can be 3.3 volts. So the whole system here is running at 3.3. All right, so this is the output of my little random noise generator, random data generator. So you can see it's outputting a random string of bits, ones and zeros. And then if we take a look at one of the channels, let's turn one of those on. So this particular channel, here, let's stop it. This particular channel is in phase with the incoming data. So when the data goes high, it goes high, all right? And if we turn on the other channel, okay, this is the A, this is the B. So we have, these are in phase, but this one's out of phase. When this one's high, this one's low. When this one's high, this one's low. So these are the two differential pairs. These two right here are the differential pairs, and that's what gets sent. That's what gets sent on its merry way. And like I say, it's always looking at the difference between these two. But if we put it like this, there, that's really what it's doing, right? So you're always getting maximum excursion, right? So this is the center line. It's going to pick up that center line, and it's going to say, okay, when this one is low, this one is high. And so instead of, it's like having zeros and ones. It's just the low state and the high state, and they're always differential to each other. I guess I've explained that way too many times. Anyway, it's a differential pair, right? If you notice this drawing, it has twists in the wire. And it's really important that you actually have twisted wire. It keeps it tightly couples the two together, so any noise is going to be common between the two. So it kind of is a self-shielding thing. So you see a lot of twisted pairs, like an Ethernet and other things. It's always good to do, even when you're probing things. Like if you have a particular device and maybe you have some leads going to your oscilloscope or your voltmeter or whatever. A lot of times it's good. It's actually good to twist your leads together to cut down on the noise that you might pick up from 60 hertz and things like that. All right, that was tip of the day, a 65HVD12.